Yo, what's the deal? I'm making this video. Shout out to my boy, the DAP. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do something along the lines of what you do when you kind of lay it out as far as how your fantasy football team is lined up. I'm going to try to make this short and sweet because I got 4 leagues to go through, and I want to give you the scoop on all of them, okay? Now, the first league I'm going to talk about is in Foxsports.com, and the name of the league is called Leaders of the Old School. And I've been down with this league for years. I've been doing this thing for maybe about 8 years now. So this is where it kind of all started. Now I'm kind of ashamed because I'm doing real bad in this league. I figure I start with the worst, work my way up to the best, okay? Now in this league, I'm 0-3. Yeah, I know. I got some surgery to perform. But here's my lineup as it stands right now, okay? Now, my starting lineup, I've got Phillip Rivers. They're going against KC this week, so I'm hoping he has he bounces back real strong. I got Cedric Benson in the law firm of Ben Jarvis Green Ellis for my running backs. For my wide receivers, I've got Brandon Lloyd from New England, Malcolm Floyd from San Diego. You see how I'm working them too? Hopefully if Rivers has a good game, Malcolm has a good game. Okay, for my tight end, Jimmy Graham, superstar from New Orleans. For my kicker, I've got Jansen Hansen from Detroit. He's been making it happen big time. As a matter of fact, side note, last week was probably one of the worst weeks ever. Nobody on my roster scored double digits except for my kicker. Can you believe that? He got like 12 points. I mean, Phillip Rivers had like 6 points. It was pitiful. And for my defense, I've got Seattle. And they usually come through like gangbusters. Now, on my bench, earlier this week, after week 3, I picked up Martellus Bennett. I've got Hakeem Nicks, waiting for him to get healthy. Brandon LaFell, kind of picked him up, hoping he was going to do something against the Giants. That didn't happen. But I've also got Willis McGahee, LaShawn McCoy, and Ryan Fitzpatrick, who I just picked up earlier today, as a matter of fact, because I did have Jay Cutler. He sucks. But anyway, as far as my running backs, I know in this league, LaShawn McCoy was projected to have a higher score than, say, like Cedric Benson, and so was Willis McGahee. But according to Foxsports.com, since Green Bay is going against New Orleans and Cincinnati is going against Jacksonville, those two teams, New Orleans and Jacksonville, have been given the most and the second most fantasy points to running backs. So had to give them a chance because they've got the best chance right now to go way over and above their projected, points. Okay, now, moving on to the next league. We're going to flip to Yahoo.com, and I'm in this league called Dirty South 3. One of my cousins' 2 leagues that I'm in. Okay, now, in this league, I've got for my quarterback in my starting lineup, Tom Brady. You would think he'd be a go every week, but he hasn't really been that consistent. For my wide receivers, got Roddy White, Steve Smith. For my running backs, the law firm again, Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, and Stephen Ridley from New England, who's been doing okay. For my tight end, Money in the Bank, Tony Gonzalez, ATL all the way, baby. For my flex position, where I can have like a wide receiver, running back, or a tight end, I threw in Michael Crabtree. I'm trying to remember who they played last week. I figured he might have a chance of getting some points. But anyway, I'll probably have to turn that around. Anyway, right now on my bench, and I think my lineup hasn't been refreshed because I could have swore I put Michael Turner in my starting lineup. But right now he's on the bench. I took him out last week because I was thinking of all the drama he was going through that he wouldn't do that well. Boy, was I wrong. But anyway, my bench, like I said, Michael Turner's on the bench. Ben Tate is on the bench. I think what I'm going to do is take one or both of those guys and throw them up, especially replace maybe Stephen Ridley and Michael Crabtree. Okay? I've also got Pierre Garçon, waiting for him to get back healthy. Jay Cutler in this league. I don't know what I was thinking about. I think I was thinking that since Brandon Marshall came back that he might be a sleeper this year, but he hasn't been doing anything but sleeping. Okay. Also got Brent Selleck, tight end for Philly. Brandon Gibson, wide receiver for St. Louis. For my kicker, I've got Nate Keating. For my defense, Seattle once again. And in this league, we've got two defensive players. And I've got DeQuell Jackson, who last year had like the most fantasy points out of all defensive players. And he's been playing very well this year. And also Jared Mayo, who I'm linebacker from New England Patriots. Okay? In this league, I'm 2-1. I'm doing okay. Now, flip it back to Foxsports.com. My cousin's other league, Dirty South 5. This league, I'm undefeated, 3-0. I'm ranked second overall out of the whole league. You know what I'm saying? Only by like 6 points. If I had 6 more fantasy points, I'd be like the #1 team in the whole league. And that's how I'm getting it done, baby. Now, for my starting lineup, I've got RG3, who wasn't initially in there. I had Tom Brady in there until he had that sucky week against, was it Arizona? Ooh, that was crazy. So put RG3 in there, and he has been paying dividends, you know what I'm saying, doing this thing in this league. I've also got the law firm, Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. He has been very good to me. You know what I'm saying? It's always good when you got the lawyers behind you, baby. You know what I'm saying? Now, got Willis McGahee. He's been doing pretty good. Brandon Lloyd. And if Brady's not doing good, he's not doing good. Got Torrey Smith, who I picked up last week and threw in my lineup. He's been doing this thing last couple weeks. Okay, Money in the Bank, Tony Gonzalez, Tony G, Gonzo, tight end. For my kicker, I've got ATL's Matt Bryan in there, and he's been doing this thing too. For my defense, I got Cincinnati. Okay, on my bench, I got Fred Jackson from Buffalo, Ben Tate, Eric Decker, Jermaine Gresham, Kendall Wright, who I thought was going to be a sleeper this year. He's been sleeping as well. I'm about to try to hit the waiver wire and try to see who I could get and get rid of that clown. But anyway, and also Tom Brady. Like I said before, I put him on the bench. Okay. Now, I'm about to jump to my very last league that I'm in this year, and it's back on Yahoo. The name of the league is called Footballers, and this is run by one of my co-workers. Now, this is my monster league, and you're about to find out why I call it a monster league, okay? This guy has crazy bonus points, like for quarterbacks. I think if you throw like 350 yards, you get bonus points. 400 yards, bonus points. 450, bonus points. So, the potential is out there. Yeah, you even got bonuses for your wide receivers, running backs, tight ends. I think if a running back goes over 100 yards, you get like an extra 5 or 10 points. So, the possibility of getting just crazy, outrageous points is not unheard of in this league. And for the starting lineup, I've got 2 quarterbacks, Drew Brees and Andy Dalton. I've got 2 wide receivers, Jordy Nelson, who hasn't really been doing too much, and Stevie Johnson, who's okay, I guess. 2 running backs, Willis McGahee and Michael Turner in my starting lineup. My tight end is Jimmy Graham. For my flex position, Andre Brown, who I happened to scoop up Thursday, maybe less than an hour before the Giants played Carolina. And oh my goodness, he got me like 25 points. It was like sent from heaven. I was surprised to see him out there, so I snatched him up. He's in that flex position where you can put like a wide receiver, running back, or a tight end. Okay, now on my bench, I've got Pierre Thomas, Brandon Lloyd, Brent Selleck, Cedric Benson, Sidney Rice from Seattle, and Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, I acquired him through a trade only because I had Jay Cutler thinking he was going to do something. And just because I saw that there was a conflict of bye weeks, that it wasn't going to work. So the only reason I traded Russell, he has potential, hasn't shown it yet. But when like Drew Brees or Andy Dalton is on bye week, I can switch him in there. Okay? Things to think about. Okay, for my kicker, I've got Shane Graham from Houston. I've got Seattle's defense again. That's kind of like a thing with me, and they've been doing their thing, so I can't go wrong with them. Now, I've also got a defensive player and a defensive back. I picked DeQuell Jackson in this one again. You know, top contender every year for top fantasy points. And I had oh, the guy from Indy. I just dropped him. I can't remember his name. But anyway, I had a linebacker or somebody from Indiana and Indianapolis. I just dropped him, picked up D'Angelo Hall from Washington, only because they're going against Tampa Bay. And what's his name? Josh Freeman. He kind of wishy-washy. And also, D'Angelo Hall was projected to get, I think, about 17 points this week. So he'll probably do double digits. Okay? Now, that's the way that is. That's my lineup for week 4. Hey, if you hear anything that I'm saying and you got some suggestions for me, feel free. Throw them out there. I'm always open. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to win, 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 win. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, this league, I'm in second place as well. It's only me and one other guy who are undefeated. And so, I'm trying to keep, you know what I'm saying, the winning streak going on. So, yo, that's all for me. I'm out, and I will see you next week. Peace.